In a sealed Egyptian chamber, an object sat in the dark like it was waiting for us. When the lab dates came back, the air changed. Because the artifact wasn't just old, it was older than the civilization around it. A team sweeps lights across a niche inside a tomb. Lotus patterns, fading paint, dust that moves like smoke. Inside, brittle linen wraps a palm-sized slab of dark stone. Not gold, not a statue. Something that feels functional. It gets catalogued the normal way. Dynastic. Ritual. The assumption is automatic. It belongs to the people who built this place, so it should date to roughly 5,000 years ago. Then someone notices the seams. Along the edges, the stone meets a thin inlay of copper, set into grooves with hardened amber resin. That detail matters because resin carries time. Organic material can be tested, dated. They take microscopic crumbs from a hidden corner and send them out, not to one lab, but two, because everyone knows what happens when a result threatens a timeline. The reports return, and the numbers refuse to behave. The resin does not match the tomb. It comes back far older, closer to 9,000 years before today. Two different labs, two different runs, same unsettling window. The kind of date that makes you whisper, "Wait, how?" Of course, the safe explanations charge in first. Contamination, reused material, a fluke. Archaeology is careful for a reason, but the team keeps going because the object itself keeps arguing back. Under magnification, the carved lines are oddly clean. Curves are smooth. Depth stays consistent. Along the grooves are tiny parallel striations, marks that look like controlled abrasion, almost rotary in feel. Experts debate whether simple drills and sand could do it, but the regularity is hard to ignore. Then, the symbols start to land. At first glance, it feels Egyptian. A horizon, a boat, a star. Familiar ingredients. But the arrangement is wrong, like a sentence built from real letters in the wrong order. Near the center is the image that won't let go, a ringed circle above rippling lines, and below it a stepped form like a platform or tower. A sun over primeval waters, a god rising, or a map? Now, stay grounded. Egypt did not appear from nothing. Before pharaohs, there were Nile communities, and the landscape itself changed. North Africa swung between green and desert. There are prehistoric stone alignments in the region that show people watching the sky long before pyramids. So an older object inside a later tomb doesn't automatically mean fantasy. It can mean inheritance. But inheritance from that far back is the part that bites. If the resin date is real, we're not talking about early Egypt. We're talking about deep time, around the end of the Ice Age world, when climates lurched, seas rose, and coastlines moved. A time linked, in many arguments, to abrupt cold snaps and massive floods. A time when a settlement on a shoreline could vanish and leave almost nothing behind. So why is this piece built like engineering? X-ray imaging shows the copper is not simply pressed into a groove. It is keyed in, anchored, as if the maker expected stress, movement, and long survival. That's planning. That's a mind thinking in materials. And trapped under the resin are traces of blue-green pigment, microscopic but real, hinting that the object's story might involve distance, trade, travel, or an heirloom carried far from where it began. Suddenly, the artifact stops feeling like an oddity. It feels like a message passed forward. Egyptian tradition speaks of a first time, an age when order was set and knowledge arrived. Officially, myth is metaphor, but myth is also memory in disguise. Catastrophe becomes a monster. A bright object in the sky becomes a god's weapon. A lost homeland becomes the underworld. So here's the question that tightens the mystery. What if this slab is a survivor from a culture that existed before the dynasties, before the desert tightened its grip, before history had ink? Not a superhuman civilization, just people capable enough to leave puzzles behind. capable enough to shape stone precisely, set metal securely, and encode information in symbols that later Egyptians recognized as powerful, even if they didn't fully understand them. That idea turns history into a loop: growth, collapse, recovery. A catastrophe reset. Not magic, just nature. When water rises, cities drown. When climates flip, food fails. Knowledge becomes a lifeboat. And then the bolder what-ifs arrive, because humans hate a blank space. Some people look at the ringed circle and see a planet. They reach for Anunnaki stories, for ancient astronauts, for gods as literal visitors. Science does not confirm that, but the fact that so many minds jump there tells you something. The evidence feels larger than the official frame. Here's the twist. You don't need aliens for this to be disturbing. You only need missing pages, because deep time is ruthless. It can erase coastlines, bury cities, grind monuments into sand. It can leave you with one object and no context, like a bottle washed ashore from a shipwreck you can't find. The crew nicknames it the Black Seal. It sits under sterile light now, while the resin date keeps insisting on a deeper origin. The tool marks keep hinting at controlled technique. The symbols keep refusing a comfortable translation. And there's one last detail, almost cruel in its simplicity. Along the bottom edge are tiny notches, deliberately spaced, grouped like a tally. Decoration, some say. Calendar, others suggest. A code, whisper a few. Something meant to be counted by someone who knew what mattered. When the light hits it right, the sequence looks like it's waiting to be read. Codes imply intent. Intent implies purpose. So here's the cliff edge. If a smear of ancient resin can shove an Egyptian artifact back into a world before recorded history, what else is sitting in collections, misdated and mislabeled, because the alternative is too disruptive? And if Egypt's greatest age was already preserving relics from an even older one, are we absolutely sure we know who built the first true high culture on Earth? Or have we been staring at the middle of the story this whole time? And in the next video, the mystery gets carved into stone so hard it should not obey. We'll look at blocks cut with precision that feels impossible for the tools we're told existed, seams that lock together like machine parts, and markings that look less like art and more like engineering. Ancient technology found carved into impossible stone blocks. And once you see those cuts up close, the word primitive won't feel so safe.
Archaeologists have uncovered something that defies everything we thought we knew about ancient Egypt. Drill holes and laser-like cuts carved into stone blocks thousands of years before such technology was supposed to exist. One stunned researcher remarked, "These marks look as if they were made yesterday, with tools we don't even fully understand today. Could this be proof of a lost technology, or something far stranger?"
Across the deserts of Egypt, the highlands of Peru, and the jungles of Southeast Asia, colossal stone blocks sit in eerie silence. Their surfaces are polished to mirror-like perfection. Edges are razor-sharp. Seams are so tight not even a human hair could slip between them. And perhaps most unsettling of all, some of these blocks weigh hundreds of tons, yet they appear to have been shaped as easily as if they were clay. How could Bronze Age tools, fragile copper chisels and pounding stones have achieved this? Or is there something more we are not seeing? Take, for example, the mysterious basalt blocks at the base of Egypt's pyramids. Basalt is harder than iron, yet these stones bear circular drill holes with spiral grooves etched into them, marks strikingly similar to those left by modern power drills. Egyptologists argue these were carved with primitive methods, but engineers examining the stones insist the evidence suggests something far more advanced, perhaps even rotary tools powered by methods we no longer understand.